Hello guys, and welcome to Salesforce Jewelers. In our previous video, we have seen the deployments on Kubernetes, in which we have set up two deployments, one of Nginx and another one was of our own custom image that we have used. So this was the image that we have used in our previous session for deployment. So you guys can also use this image. So if I'll show you, so this was the terminal. So if I'll list all my deployments, so kubectl will get deployments. So these were my deployments in which we were having two pods for the Nginx and one pod for our application. So if let us just list on our pods. So kubectl get pods. So these were our pods. Now in this video we will set up the service. So what is service, guys? So for now, suppose my Nginx service, or I can say suppose my this Nginx deployment is meant to be accessible from outside of the cluster. So in that case, we will create a service and we will allow it to be accessible from outside of the cluster. So let us refer the documentation. So as it is mentioned in Salesforce Jewelers website, so guys, a service in Kubernetes defines a logical set of pods by which we can access the deployments, or I can say by which we can access the pods. So let us understand this in very simple language. Suppose you are having two pods of your application running. Okay. So above these two pods, a service will be set up, and whenever the request will be there for accessing the application running inside our pods, so that particular request first of all will come to our service, and then later on from the service it will be passed to our pods. Okay, so let us understand it again. Suppose you are having two or three pods of your application running. So above those pods, a service will be set up, and whenever the user will access our pods, or I can say will access our application running in our pods, that particular request will first come to the service and then it will be passed to the pods. So let us create a service. So as we can see, here are some examples of service. So we have created a service. So let me just show you. So let us just get this. So this is my Nginx service. As we can see, client service that will sit on our Nginx pods, as we can see in the app name Nginx. So if I will show you the deployment YAML for Nginx, so as you can see, the app name here and here are similar, which means that this particular service is for our Nginx. So as we can see, it will be hitting on port number 80, and target port 80 means port number 80 will be bind to the port number 80 inside the container. And as you can see very clearly, it is of type load balancer, means when we will apply this service, it will create a load balancer, and with the help of that load balancer we will able to access this service outside of our cluster. So let us try it. Let us apply the service. So we'll let kubectl apply -f, then our service name. So kubectl apply -f, then our service name, that is nginx service.yaml. So as we can see, it is saying that service nginx service is now being created. So let us check. Let us have a look on our service. We will write kubectl get service. We can also use kubectl get svc. It is a short term for service. So as we can see in front of our service, it is saying, it is giving an external IP. So this is the load balancer URL. If you will see it clearly, that says ELB elastic load balancer. So let us have a look. So this is our management console. Let us refresh it. So as we can see, a load balancer is created. So this was our main load balancer for the cluster, and this is our load balancer for our Nginx service. So let us copy the URL, or we can copy the DNS from here. This DNS and this DNS are same. You can copy them from anywhere, and let us just paste it here. So it will take some time. Let us just wait for the time till it gets stable. until our service get exposed. So let us discuss the service again. So guys, service, what is service? Service in Kubernetes helps us to access our application within the cluster or outside of the cluster. Suppose you are having 2 or 3 pods running, so that particular service will be set up on above those pods, and whenever the user will try to access the application running in those pods, that particular request first of all will come to the service, and from service it will be distributed to our application pods. So for listing down all the deployments and service whatever we have created, we can execute kubectl get all. As we can see, it will list all of our pods, our service and our deployments, as we can see. So let us try to refresh it again. So yes, it is taking time, so let us wait till it gets stable. So let me just pause my video till it gets stable. So yes, as we can see, our service has now exposed. It will take some time. So we can see it has shown us the welcome to Nginx page. So that is how we can expose our application for accessing outside of the cluster. Now for having a look about the service, so let us execute the command that says kubectl get service. Now this was our service. For getting much information about this, we can execute kubectl describe, then the service name, kubectl describe service name, that is Nginx service, Nginx-service. So as we can see, it will tell us all the details about our service, that is our load balancer, endpoint, our URL and all these things. And this is our welcome page to Nginx. It means that our service is exposed. Now suppose the question arises that how the application will communicate with each other in Kubernetes. So in that case, we have to create a service for that particular application. Now suppose that this application, this my app deployment needs to be communicate with my Nginx deployment, means that this particular application will be up and running only and only if it will communicate with my Nginx deployment. So for this, we have to create a service and we have to pass the service name in our application properties file. So let us exit into our pod and let us try to do telnet on the Nginx service and see whether it is maintaining the connection or not. So yes, we have exit in our pod. So as you can see, telnet is not found. So let us install telnet. So the command for installing telnet is apt install telnet. So now let us pass our service name, that is telnet nginx -service along with the port number 80. So yes, as it is saying, it is connected to Nginx service, which means that the particular application is communicating with another application. So that is how we can allow the application to communicate with each other by creating service. So I hope this session has been clear to you. Thank you guys.